Hi everybody, I'm Stacy with Stacy's Organizing and Decorating for Life. I'm here to help you organize your thoughts and decorate your perspectives. So on Tuesdays, I ask for Topic Tuesday from usually my Facebook friends, sometimes my Instagram friends too, and for my Wednesday morning's video. I like that because it shows how divinely connected that we all are, whether we know each other or not. Usually the topics that I get are all fine and right in divine alignment. So today our topics come from Vera C. She asked, for me to discuss being overwhelmed and disorganized. And then Natalia asked for me to discuss keeping peace of mind amidst the chaos. So when we break this down, being overwhelmed and keeping peace of mind are right there together, right? And then also being disorganized and in chaos is the same thing too. So really, when I look at that, I see overwhelmed, disorganized, feeling chaotic and trying to keep peace. Those are all symptoms of grief, right? That's what we're all experiencing right now. Just the holidays are different than they have ever been before. So today's topic, we're going to talk about those things, but I've kind of titled this to be the pandemic grief, because there's grief coming up on all levels. So how do we flip it to the other side? And some of it's never going to flip, y'all, because in all honesty, some people have lost some people very tragically. Some, there's been overdoses, suicides, tragic accidents, freak accidents. There's been, people dying of the normal stuff that we grieved over before. And then there's, of course, obviously, the COVID and just some crazy things happening. It seems like there's so many people leaving this planet, and it's chaotic. So first off, like I say, your feelings are valid if you're feeling this way right now. It's just a different time, something we've never experienced before. So, of course, we don't understand it, and it hurts and it's painful. So usually at the end of my videos, I offer to give people 30 minutes of my time if they want to try to organize their thoughts and I can't tell you how to make sense of this. I can't, but I can try to hopefully help you get, set in the right direction to be able to get up each day and live a day at a time, one step at a time, doing the next right thing. So sometimes that's all you can do is just one thing at a time, So I will gift you 30 minutes of my time. Of course, you have to set an appointment. You can't just call and start talking to me because I have appointments, but you have to set a 30-minute appointment. But I would give that to you because I want to see you do well. I'm trying to be a ripple in consciousness in this universe. And I want, if you're going to be a ripple, I would just be a drop if I just wanted to be a drop, but I want to be a ripple. And a ripple means that where people keep giving and that it just keeps going, So, like I say, if you would like 30 minutes just to try to get your mind clear and to be able to talk to somebody that doesn't have an outcome. I know when I was grieving that I didn't want to talk to those closest to me because I didn't want to feel their pity. I didn't want to make them worry and have pain, but I didn't know what to do oftentimes. So if that's you, then like I say, at the end of this video or right now, I'll tell you can email me at stacyreinick@gmail.com, or you can also look me up at stacyforlife.com. That's my webpage. And so there's information on how to get in touch with me on my webpage too. So either way, you can look me up there. On my webpage, I write a monthly blog, and there is a description of my services, but I don't deal solely with those things because really, in being this ripple, I want to help people have healing and healthy relationships as well as development of spiritual and soul consciousness. Okay? So let's get started. The reason that you're feeling this way is that all systems are breaking down. Christmas, the holidays aren't like they were. Some people are very lonely. Like I said, some people have actually physically lost loved ones, but some people they're compromised and they can't be with their loved ones. Some people are living alone and they can't see their loved ones. And then some people are living in the house cooped up with their loved ones, and maybe one of them is dealing with depression. And it gets to be hard dealing with somebody dealing with depression. And, you want to get angry at them, but you don't want to get angry at them. You want to, but you don't want to get angry with them, but then you're upset because, you can't, it's hard to understand. And then you don't want to judge them either. So we have to get out. You have to get out and you have to take care of yourself. That's the only way we're going to keep from buying into all of that is that, nature. I suggest nature. So, no, the answer is not just nature. I wish it was that simple, but nature is certainly a big part. So I want you to stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to offer you some insights and just a small meditation that you can do on your own to get back in your body. Because at times like this, it's hard for people to stay in their bodies. They're seeking answers. And most people, I think, are seeking answers outside of themselves. That's why it's very important to have a faith in something. And, some of the people that I talk to, they don't have a faith in religion. It doesn't mean that they're not open. It means that sometimes people have had something imposed on them and they don't like it. People want to develop their own relationships with first off, their higher power. And if you've had a higher power pushed upon you and forced upon you, you may tend to want to repel against that. And that's what I see sometimes. It doesn't mean that they don't like a higher power. They just haven't established a relationship with a higher power because of what they've known about a higher power before. And in this grief process, some people have a lack of faith in a higher power, thinking, well, how could things be like this if there is a higher power? But we tend to contradict ourselves all the time. And contradiction is kind of like our polarities in this world, right? That I'm always talking about it is this, but it's not this, And so what we want to do is to do the opposite of the things that we've done if we want to create different circumstances. So if we're, in a place of feeling overwhelmed, we want to be calm, right? So how are we going to get to calm? If we're in a place of feeling disorganized, we want to feel organized. So how are we going to get there? How are we going to get peaceful amidst chaos? Faith is one thing. I know even for me during this pandemic, I have amped up my prayer time. And I don't just say quick prayers here and there. I do say quick prayers here and there, but, for when I run into somebody and they say, oh, I could use your prayers, well, they're going to get them right there because by the time I do prayers, then I'm liable to forget. I try to remember, and most of the time I do remember some, but sometimes I'll forget one. Did y'all do that too? Because we're human, right? So, but I do have my little altar in my prayer time to where I have my candles even set up because I'm very vigilant. And it's a sacred time for me, and a lot of times we don't know why we do the things that we do. And that's part of this dismantling that we're going through right now because with all these systems breaking down, and a lot of people are in fear. Like I said, I counsel people and they're like, I don't even know, especially the young people. I feel for these young people because I tell them, look, y'all are my future here. So look at 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, because I'm trying to get these young people to have faith. And it's scary right now for these young people because they're like, look at this, But what I'm trying to get people to do is to be hope-filled, especially the young people, because in 10 years, we are going to hopefully have better school systems than we've ever had before. It's a possibility. When things dismantle and break down, what do? We fix them. So hopefully we're going to have better school systems than we had before, better ways of doing things. Because I know I've worked for the school district and I know a lot of the teachers didn't like what they had to teach, that are rather taught something else. I like when I've seen schools here, that they were teaching more consciousness, so if we could teach more consciousness, and consciousness is not religion. Consciousness is about humanity. Consciousness is about having empathy. Consciousness is about caring. Consciousness is about helping other people. Consciousness is so many things. It's expansive, you see. Because it's not overwhelming. Consciousness is not when you have a conscious. In our step work, we come to this 11th step where we say we have a conscious contact with God, the God of our understanding. And so once we get to that consciousness, I really don't fret too much. I know that all is well But I've been through a lot in my life, and I've gotten to the other side, and it's through practicing and having faith. See, because people are easy to have faith when things are going their way, but when we lose somebody we love dearly, then a lot of times some of the best people I know have lost faith when they've had a loss of a loved one. People that I've admired very much. I'm not saying that I don't admire them. They have to find their way back, and they usually do find their way back to a degree, or they get unhealthy, So it's developing. Anytime I've gone through something in my life, I had to expand my relationship because maybe I didn't understand. And I've had to learn that it's not my business to understand everything, but it's my business to explore everything or anything, So I explore things. I don't always know how to understand things. So in my explorations, I've looked at these different religious faiths, and they're really pretty interesting, and I believe that God meets people where they're at. I think that it's arrogant to think that God only serves one group of people. I don't think that at all. I find many great people, like I said, that do have belief in God, that don't have belief in God. It's about the humanity, in their heart, their soul. So in my prayer time, like I've said before, I have the one candle with people who are really struggling, whether it's COVID, whether it's, relationship issues, whatever it is. That's the one candle I start with. And then the next candle is my family, friends, fellowship friends, whether, my recovery fellowship, my spiritual fellowships, the things that I study. And then that third candle is between me and my relationship with God, the God that was with me when I had my first breath, the God that's going to be with me at my last breath. That God guides all these breaths in between. And I always ask for guidance and how I can suit up and show up in this world and do the next right thing. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do, is to ask your God of your understanding, or, if it's not God, because I help people get to God a lot of times. I'm not saying, a lot of times people tell me that I help them develop a relationship because maybe that relationship is blocked. Because God can go by many names. God can go by God. Of course, some people call him Allah. Some people call God Jehovah. Some people call God the All. Some people call God the Source. Some people call God the I Am. Some people call God the Divine. Because you know why? Because God is unlimited. God is expansive. God is everything. So, God is consciousness. God is energy. Some people see God as energy. God could be the sun. God could be the moon. Don't let your relationship with a power greater than yourself stop you because of somebody else's belief systems. You can have your own belief system and your own relationship. So, I think what this has taught us with this breakdown of systems and stuff is that gratitude, gratitude and hope. I was talking to a young person today, and it's like, how do you have hope? Because they're working on their relationship with the higher power. And so I'm like, well, I wonder though, it's cool, because I get to be open and ask, and I don't come from a place to where, I said, I wonder how people have hope if they don't have a higher power. How do you have hope? And this person found that very interesting, how, and we ponder those things. How do you have hope if you don't have a higher power? I mean, who do you put your hope? I mean, how do you? If you know that answer, please answer it below. I know there's an energy. See, your higher power can even be the energy. Your higher power is whoever you give your energy to. Even if you give your energy to worry, then you're letting worry be your higher power. If you're letting that consume you. You see, that's my belief system. And I'm not trying to impose it on you. I'm just suggesting to think about that, because that's what I try to do, is to get y'all to think. I'm not trying to say that I'm right or wrong, because it's not even about being right or wrong. That's what's part of the problem with the system, why the government's breaking down, is this person's got to be right, this person's got to be right, and then this person has to be wrong. And Matt McConaughey just wrote a book called The Green Light, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm interested in reading it because I saw him sharing about it in an interview, and it talked about how we just need to be able to hear each other so that we can make solutions. But people tend to tune each other out if they don't like what they're saying, just like we tend to have a lack of faith if we don't like what is happening to us or through us or for us. So, school system's breaking down. We have a possibility of making schools of better consciousness, like I said, not religion, better consciousness, to where we can treat people better. We can learn early on how to treat people better so that in 10, 20 years from now, the people that are coming up have better social skills and are able to talk to each other better and clearer, and to come up with solutions that are able to make two parties happy, where they can negotiate, not a compromise, but to negotiate for the better outcome of things, where police people are able to do, I think that police probably wanted to be able to do more than they were actually able to do. There's a lot of great policemen and there's bad policemen. There's great teachers and bad teachers. I know some teachers that they wish they could have taught something else than what they had to teach about the stars or the tax test. They would have rather taught other things, probably more so in the line of humanity and things that would help, that they thought would help the kids more. I think that we're going to be able to have those kind of things in the future, and so that will make the government better. That'll make our society better as a whole. So this is a time where, while everything's breaking down, it has the possibility for new growth and rebirth. I think that's what the earth has been trying to tell us during this pandemic, when we've used less of our resources and wasted less, and I think that, this Christmas teaches us more gratitude than waste, because in the past people would just buy stuff just because they felt obligated that they had to buy stuff. But really, we get be creative and give more of our time or something that we've loved that maybe we just don't even notice anymore, that's going to bring somebody some absolute joy, that's going to be fun to watch it light up their face when they get to have it and share it for a while. Your energy on something. If you've got good energy, people like to receive things with your energy on it, your love with it. People got away from that, thinking that we had to compete with each other in this 2019 world, this world of materialism and capitalism. But, we're downsizing now. So we can look on the bright side or we cannot. Even when I was talking to my friend last night, she's got COVID. She's like, Stacy, I can't taste or smell anything, and we were all laughing. There was 3 of us in this Zoom conversation, and so, but she had a good positive outlook. We were laughing and stuff. And so I think that we can take from COVID to be grateful for what we can smell and grateful for what we can taste. Grateful for the people that we have in our life and the people that we get to be around. Grateful for when we get some time by ourselves. Grateful for when we, can touch one another. Grateful for some people hadn't been able to travel. Grateful for when you can travel. If you don't have hope, what do you have? I'm hoping that you all will come up with divine ideas. So if you want to get calm, you have to remember who you are and get back in your body. So we're going to work on that right quick. I want to remind you that you are so divinely connected. And so this is something that I have a huffing and puffing dog in the background because I have the air off because I'm trying to record without noise. So anyway, I apologize for the dog huffing and puffing. But I want to remind you to get back in your body, that the answers that you seek are within yourself and in your soul and in your growth and development, in your higher power, whoever you perceive that to be. I encourage you to read books. I read a lot, and right now before I get to this meditation part, I just remembered that I want to talk about 1221. We just had the new moon and everything, and so the new moon is indicative of new possibilities and new things, and to be certain about what you want. And coming into this new year, a lot of people are afraid to do that, and I understand that. But maybe you do have certain dreams and goals and visions. If you're working 2 jobs, maybe you just want to work 1. So asking for clarity about how to get down to 1 job to make enough in that 1 job. What can you do? Or what can you do to have better manage money? Or what can you do here and there to make your situation a better situation? What can you do if you're living with somebody who's driving you nuts? How can you take your time for yourself and show them respect too? What can you do if, when things aren't going your way? What can you do that's right within your soul? Can you pray? Can you meditate? I know I've amped up my meditation too. I too have some goals for next year, and I'm getting clear on those goals. And when I was out in the new moon last night, I was clear on those goals. And then the 21st, we're going to talk about 1221. Because as we're looking at all these changes that have happened in this world right now, it's called for a reflection into ourselves. Even though we may be seeking the answers outside of ourselves, what 1221 is telling you, because it's a reflection. You look in the mirror, 1221. I mean, it's like it's a reflection. Some of the, one of the religious books, it wasn't religious, but one of the faith books that I read, it was Sindaism. I'll have to look it up. But that they truly believed in this mirror reflection, that everything that we look at is looking back at us. So what we see is looking back at us. And, I just take a little bit of those pieces with me. But 1221, in 2020 has caused us to really have to reflect on ourselves. What are the most important things in our lives? What can we have gratitude about? And what can we let go of in our life? What isn't necessary anymore? Do we know where these thoughts and ideas are coming from? Do we know why we felt like we had to buy all these freaking Christmas presents for everybody and everything, and to be overindulgent and all of this stuff? Do we know why we thought that? And the Christmas tree right now, the thing that we can take from that with the Christmas tree is that, while things seem cold, dark, and dormant, is that the Christmas tree could be a sign of hope. So when we look at a Christmas tree, instead of feeling, like we don't have something, or that it's not like it was, we can see that it's still a sign of hope, that there's some green there, that there's life. And it reminds us that there's still life. So in our gratitude, we can focus on what we still have. And it's okay to miss what we don't have anymore, but to try to put our focus on what we have. And I'm not saying distract from your feelings, because by all means, feel your feelings. Get in the closet and cry. Hit the ground and cry. Whatever you've got to do, because grief comes in waves. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, So sometimes you're going to have to cry, but get back up. Try to find something green, something full of life for you to focus on. Those that have gratitude in that you still have that, and you still have this breath. And we're going to talk about the breath in a minute. But I hope that you can reflect on that and see what you've gotten from 2020 that you can do without now, that you can let go of, and what you hope to have more of in the future. So I want to remind you once again to get back in your body. I know that 1221, some people say are looking for it to be the sign, the same sign that they found when they found Jesus. There's a lot of deeper meanings going on, and I encourage you, like I said, read books, watch videos, research it. There's all kinds of great stuff going on cosmically. I believe that there's something going on underneath all this tragedy and everything else, because there's always this, like, the polarities. When something's broken, we fix it. And it was meant to go like this. It wasn't never meant to be straight. It was always, there's always been the wave. So I want to encourage you right now to take a few minutes, take some deep breaths. Get in your body. Focus on your breath. Things are going to come to your mind. Just let them go. You'll notice that if you take 10 of these deep breaths like this, you're going to feel calmer afterwards. So I always tell people to breathe, pray, and say, I don't know. But today we're going to do something different. But I tell you to breathe, pray, and say, I don't know. I tell you to breathe. And then I ask you to pray and ask God, universe, whoever you're talking to, that these feelings that are overwhelming you, these feelings that keep obsessing about, these thoughts that keep coming to mind, that they be relieved from you, that they be replaced, and that they be healed, and that you find a way, but that you quit obsessing if it's not serving you at this time. And then when you ask to find a way, it's okay to say, I don't know. And then to have patience, because when we plant seeds, they don't grow right the minute we ask, or right the minute we put them in the ground. Well, you can't sit there. It's going to come. And that's where the synchronicity and serendipity of this universe comes from. The magic, mystery, and miracles of this universe is when we plant the seed and then we have faith that it's going to grow. We nurture it, whether it be in prayer or whether it be with being kind to ourselves and others, however we choose to nurture these seeds that we're putting out there. Okay? So keep breathing. Get back in your body. Then close your eyes. Close your eyes a minute. This is a quick meditation. I want you to remember how divinely connected you are to this world, this source, and this universe. You hear your breath. When you go to sleep, you're breathing. Your organs are working. You wake up, you can be in gratitude. There's nothing wrong with being in gratitude, even though you're missing somebody or some way of life that you had. You can still find gratitude and just opening your eyes the next day, each and every day. Just decide to feel it for a few moments. It's making that decision to feel the gratitude. Choosing to go to gratitude first. Let's choose to go to gratitude first. So I want you to picture yourself. If you're a mountain person, standing at the top, climbing. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's hard, but you get to the top of the mountain. And you see the trees and you see how far you've come. And you didn't know sometimes why you decided to do this trek. You didn't know sometimes why. And you wish maybe you hadn't, but you got up there to the top of the mountain and how accomplished you feel. And to see all the trees below. So that's you. But if you're a beach person, I encourage you to go to the beach and stand there. Be at the beach, and if you're mountain and beach, maybe you're both. Go to the beach now. Let's go to the beach. Feel the sand under your bare feet. It's the best carpet ever. It's soft as it can be. And you look out over at the water, and it's just as expansive as it is when you look out over the mountains. You can see forever, and it seems like you can see everything, but you know you can't see everything, that there's so much more across that horizon. There's so much more out past the sea, through the waves. But if you're on the mountain, you watch the sun shadow over the trees. And if you're looking over the seas, you see the sun shining sparkling like diamonds on top of the water. You see all the beauty and majesty in those things. And oh, the freedom that it looks like to have that kind of expansion, just to be able to see all of that. What a gift it is to see all of that. And as you stand there, no matter where you're standing and you hear the birds, And you hear the sounds of far-off laughter and joy for whatever the experiences are bringing. Maybe children, happy children in a past life, past time. Maybe it's you when you were 10. Maybe it's you when you were 7. Remember those experiences of getting in your body at 10 and 7 years old and looking at the ocean and looking over the mountains and how exciting that was and how big the world looked, how expansive it was. And then feel the sun coming down on you through the top of your head. The sun's coming down and it's coming down through your mind and it's coming over your shoulders and down through your chest and down to your legs and your feet, and you're just embodying it. So I want you to picture this now. You've pictured the sun. So if you're standing there, let's go to the sea. I'm going to use the sea because that's my place. But you can tweak it to your mountains or whatever you want. But we're going to the sea now. So you're standing there in that sand. I encourage you to walk to the waves. Walk to the shore to where the waves come up. So walk to the shore where the waves come up and keep looking. I don't care if you're 10, 13, 20, 30, 40 years old. Just stand there. Picture yourself standing there. Hear the birds in the background. Hear the ocean coming up. Feel it going over your feet. And all these worries, that feeling of feeling overwhelmed and that feeling of feeling disorganized and that feeling of feeling chaos, does it matter right now? No, it doesn't, because we feel peace right now. We feel peace in nature. We feel peace in knowing that's where you're still. That's where you're being still. You're still right now. You're in the presence. Just standing there still, and it's easy to stand there. So we let these worries go. As that wave goes out, you see that overwhelming go out. You see that disorganization go out. And you see that, the chaos, it goes out in the wave. And then what comes in the wave over your feet is all the possibilities of just doing the next right thing, to get over those things. To get over feeling overwhelmed, there's a calm coming over your feet. So you just breathe in deep. But let me remind you, as you're standing on that sand, that sand is the stuff possibly with every little grain. Who would have thought of every little grain of sand are like all those stars in the sky. So they're so massive and abundant. It's just unlimited. It's unimaginable. But the sand and the stars in the sky are made possibly of the same thing. What if the sand is made of stardust? And what if the stardust and the sand are made of the same things that our bodies are made of? That we are divinely connected to all that there is. We are divinely connected. So your body is made up of that sand, that earth that you're standing on. They say that when we go, that our skins, these material bodies just dissolve back into the earth. We just go back to that. So our bones are like the stardust. Our bones are like the sand. They really aren't, it's not that important right now. Take those deep breaths in. Then as the water comes in, now pictures, the water comes in, the water's coming in. The water is in your blood that travels through your body. What a gift it is to have the blood that travels, through your body, and to feel the water on your feet, the coolness of the water. So you've got water in your blood. It's just as vast as the streams, and water are all divinely connected to that blood source that's within you. But as you're listening to the winds and breathing those deep breaths, knowing that contains the air, you know that air is part of this divine life force that I'm sitting here talking to you about. The air is part of that divine life force. As you breathe it in, it's filling your organs. It fills your lungs and travels through all these vital organs that keep you alive. And that's why you're still here, and why you still have a purpose, and why you need to stay here. And why you need to have hope and faith, even though it doesn't feel like it right now. But if we're back in our bodies, we know that this and all things are possible, because we can't see past the stars. We can't see past the ocean. So there's so much more going on than we even know about. So as we're breathing in the air that's connected to our lungs and organs, and we're feeling the water that's running through our blood and the streams, and we feel the sun, the sand under our feet, knowing how divinely we are connected to the earth, and that's where we will return, and we have faith and knowing in that, and no fear in that, because that's what we all do in the end. As we know that the sun is on us, and the sun gives us light. The sun is our heat and our fire. So we're looking at all these elements. We are so divinely, the principles that we are so divinely connected to: fire, air, water, the earth. We're all divinely connected to those. They say that the fire could possibly be like the ether. The fire is the fire that's in your soul, the fire that's in your belly, the fire that keeps you going, that gives you your intentions and your desires and your love. It gives you your wisdom even, because we can see with the light of that sun, and we can feel the warmth with the light of that sun. And that warmth, the seeing and the spreading the warmth and the light to other people is what our purpose is, y'all. So remember who you are. Get back in your body. So breathe in and out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. And remember that you can think and imagine these things on your own. Just remember that. And if you need any help with that, remember you can give me a call and I'll give you 30 minutes of my time. You got to make an appointment, to get 30 minutes of my time, but I won't charge you for it, okay? All right. So I wish you much love and peace. And I hope that you're able to get something out of this video and everything. I hope that it's been helpful. I thank you so much for your time. And I appreciate your likes, and I appreciate your inspiration, because you all inspire me too. So thank you all for all you do. I'll see you next week. Bye.